Now they have to wait. And like you said, Eric, there's that sickness that comes along with it. It's commonly referred to as being dope sick. What is the withdrawal experience like for a person who is coming off heroin? I know that many of our audience members might be able to relate somewhat because maybe they've quit smoking, for example. But this is much harder, and it's a real physical thing, if I understand it correctly. Maybe you gentlemen can explain what you see.
Absolutely. On our end, it is physical. These people are going through a physical problem. It's a real sickness. Typically, depending on the stage with which they come into the emergency department, will sort of gauge us on how sick they really are. Typically, a person's blood pressure is going to begin to rise as they begin to withdraw from opiates. Their heart rate is going to begin to speed up as well as their body begins to actually physically crave this medication. It's receptors inside our body. They get used to having this toxin attached to it, and when it goes off, your body kind of goes into almost rejection, is really what it comes down to. And you begin to feel ill. They begin to get sick to their stomach. They'll begin to vomit. Like I said, their heart rate will go up, their blood pressure will go up. They'll begin to sweat profusely. They have severe pain all over their body, inside their muscles, inside their joints. And it's real pain. It's not something that is being made up. It's real pain because these receptors are beginning to actually crave this other toxin that's attached to them. And in some cases, we need to admit these people to the hospital for several days to get them through this period of withdrawal. It's very similar to, like you said, cigarettes. People who stop cigarettes can go through a similar phase. Alcohol is similar as well. People have severe sickness from that. One of the things we do know compared to other medications is, as terrible as heroin withdrawal is, it doesn't kill you. Unlike other medications, you don't die from the withdrawal from it. Though I've had many people tell me they wish they could, because it's so terrible.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, in a very accurate description. You know, I got sober December 7th of 2006, and I had a 6-year run with drug addiction, and I started off as most people do, that inevitably end up heroin addicts, with pharmaceuticals, pills such as Oxycontin, Percocet, Vicodin, which are all of the same drug class. They really produce a very similar, almost identical effect within you. And as my tolerance increased, I ended up in heroin for, plenty of reasons. One being, $500 worth of the pharmaceutical pills equates to about $50 worth of heroin on the street, as far as potency. The withdrawal process, when you enter into like a late stage heroin addiction, IV, they shoot up, boot, whatever you want to call it, and they have 4 to 6 hours typically of a euphoric high. And what happens at the end of that, when you start to come down from that high, is an extreme anxiety. An extreme anxiety and an extreme fear of the sickness, of the withdrawal that's about to come. Inevitably, it's coming. And what will happen at the same time as the mind starts to sober and go into withdrawal is a full-blown obsession. Is a full-blown obsession on how to get more, and everything that's going to come with that. And that's why you see, in the news, and for those of us that have known addicts in our own life, the desperation that we'll go to get the next fix. The withdrawal itself is, like Doctor said, that you won't die, but you wish you would. I can tell you plenty of experiences going through that process myself, that if there was a die button on the table, I would willingly hit it just to stop the pain. And it's a torment that is incredibly hard to get through. If you think of the worst flu you've ever had, laying on the bathroom floor, you can't get up, you have the spins, you're in complete pain. But with the wiring of the addictive thinking, which is for a little bit and one more, it all changes right now, and I can be